Hey guys, welcome back to the Wall Street Bull. Anthony here. I hope you're all doing well and staying positive out there. It is never a dull and boring moment in crypto, finance, and the stock market. That is why I love doing daily market updates. Now today, ladies and gentlemen, there is a lot happening in the finance and crypto world. I mean, in the crypto world, we've got Richard Hart from Hex and Pulse Chain being sued by the SEC for unregistered securities. Obviously, an announcement that Wells Fargo and JP Morgan now using Ripple and XRP integrated with FedNow. There is a lot happening with that, guys. Yes, for us Aussies here in Australia, literally coming out now. This video is being filmed at 2:30 in the afternoon. The Reserve Bank has kept interest rates on hold. Thank the Lord. I mean, for us mortgage holders, it's been painful. Anyway, obviously we have some other updates here as well. Cardano, Solana see institutional capital being thrown into it. You've got the judge delivering a new ruling in a case against Do Kwon, which is going to be very interesting. MicroStrategy announcing its balance sheet. Did they buy more Bitcoin? We're going to have a look at that. The SEC's push to delist all cryptocurrencies on Coinbase, and obviously Coinbase basically giving a big FU to Gary Gensler. Anyway, we've got Tether updates as well for USDT. And of course, obviously the IRS in the United States is now going after crypto staking because that is now going to be part of your tax reports, and I should say your tax returns, as we say here in Australia. But anyway, guys, there is a lot happening out there. Let's get into it, guys. Massive shout out and thank you to every single one of you who have subscribed to the channel. I really appreciate it. Thank you very much. If you are new, make sure you smash the subscribe button down there and turn on that little bell notification as well, because as you can see right here, absolutely love documenting my journey with investing with cryptos, dividend stocks, growth stocks, talking about passive income, building financial freedom, and of course my goal at the end of the day is to build generational wealth. So come on this incredible journey. Things are getting freaking wild in this space. Also, if you can give this video a thumbs up, watch it straight through, would really help me push this channel out to a lot more people, because the YouTube algorithm is absolute magic when you find, ladies and gentlemen, do that, okay? So make sure you give it a good thumbs up for me down there. It doesn't cost you anything. It's absolutely free. Thank you very much. You guys absolutely rock. Also, a little disclaimer, I am not a financial advisor. Please do your own research and due diligence with this stuff, all right? This video is for educational and entertainment purposes only. Right, ladies and gentlemen, let's get into all of the news that's happening today, and it is the 1st of August. And again, my birthday is in 8 days. I'm on the 8th of August, so it's going to be very interesting. Now, interesting tweet, again, this has been going around, but Anderson Harowitz right here, temporarily helping Elon Musk with Twitter. Now, this is obviously going back to 2022. There are XRP transactions right here. Now, I mean, I have to look further into this. Obviously, there's going to be people out there that actually know a lot more about this than myself. But however, there are XRP transactions in there. 5 million XRP, 15 million, and of course we have 16 million XRP there now moving. It has Musk on the wallet address. It could be anyone. However, we never know. Very, very interesting. Anyway, we have the SEC officially coming out today going after Richard Hart, and that's Richard Schaller right here. That's his real name. Now, again, this is, I mean, I saw this coming from a mile away. I mean, to be quite honest with you, I wasn't a fan of Hex or Pulse Chain or PulseX. I wasn't invested in any of it. To be quite honest with everyone, again, I didn't really like the way Richard Hart was parading himself around buying luxury goods, Ferraris, Richard Mille watches, Louis Vuitton, all these designer things. He was going pretty hard at that on Twitter not long ago, actually last year. And yeah, I mean, it was just a matter of time before the SEC caught on to this. But anyway, basically, this is an official announcement from the SEC's website, I should say their Twitter page. But today we charged Richard Schaller, forgive me if I'm pronouncing his name wrong, and 3 unincorporated entities that he controls, Hex, Pulse Chain, and PulseX, with conducting unregistered offerings of crypto assets, securities that raised more than $1 billion in crypto assets from investors. And basically, Hart called on investors to buy crypto asset securities in offerings that he failed to register. And again, from the previous stuff from, you know, I mean, Hex on their website anyway was like, invest $10,000 and you're going to get this kind of return. So again, that was literally being promoted as a security. So again, I stayed well away from this. And the bottom line is this. Don't invest in stuff like this. I mean, that you know, I mean, if you do it, it's at your own risk. But you've got to be prepared for this stuff in crypto. But for me anyway, it was just a clear indication. And me personally, I mean, I look at CEOs like Brad Garlinghouse from Ripple, and again, you'd never see him doing those kind of things anyway. I mean, just wearing a suit and looking professional, meeting with governments, leaders, banks, institutions. Come on. I mean, anyway, moving on, guys. I mean, for those of you who actually lost money in Hex, I really do feel bad. But anyway, not good. And top altcoins in my portfolio, we had Acro, ETN, XDC, AGIX, and Shiba Inu. Yes, I'm very bullish on XDC. Now, the market is down at the moment. Bitcoin's currently trading at 28,902 USD at the moment. We're going to get to that in a second. Let's move to Coinspot now. This is where I buy my cryptos in Australia. There is a referral link below for this. Please feel free to use it. You will get $10 in Bitcoin if you are new to crypto trading in Australia. Now, just to say that Coinspot is an official partner of my channel. I've been using this since a long time ago, guys. Many, many years. Anyway, prices are in Australian dollars. Everything else set to USD. So I'm catering for everybody around the world and my Aussie fans. Now, Bitcoin's sitting at $44,000, down 1.65%. Ethereum's down 2% today, 2,800. XRP's $1.06, still incredibly undervalued in my opinion. Doge's 11 cents, Cardano's at 46, Solana's at $36. Now Dogecoin, sorry, is at 11 cents. Now again, I'm still holding my Doge. Litecoin 139, Matic's $1.03. Stellar 22 cents. Chainlink is $11. Now moving down, Hedera as well is 7 cents. Now I've seen some pretty open communities about this one and a lot of price predictions. Again, Hedera is incredibly undervalued. So keep an eye on this one. I'm looking to dollar cost average into this. Quant, basically triple zeros today, $167. Moving down, we have Axie at $9. XDC's down slightly today to 9 cents. I've been speaking about this for nearly 2.5 years on my channel. And basically everyone that's been listening to this have had many opportunities to dollar cost average into this like I have. Not financial advice, but again, I'm very bullish on XDC. Theta is $1.18. Moving down, some other coins. CFX, 27 cents. Gala is at 3 cents. Pepe as well. Now, my bot in the Patreon is doing quite well, even though there's volatility in the markets. I'm still up 12.39% at the time of recording this, which is really good. So again, that is in the Patreon link below. I'll show you that in a moment. IOTA is at 26 cents. And of course, Casper is at 6 cents. Now, some coins that I'm very bullish on also, XYO, under a cent. I've been holding this for a long time. I got in quite early. Excuse me, guys. And of course, Reef, again, under a cent as well. An absolute hidden gem. The founder, I think his name's Danko Machinsky. I keep forgetting this. But again, he called out Sam Bankman-Fried years ago and obviously noticed a lot of BS going on with Sam Bankman-Fried and FTX. But anyway, moving on, let's go to Crypto Bubbles. Yes, I have the Wall Street Bull University linked below, guys. Again, I'm putting up stuff every single day, and this is crazy. Now, again, thank you to those 289 members. You guys absolutely rock. Put up 967 posts of absolute gold information. Stuff that is making me money. That is why I've just started this Patreon, because I'm putting up everything here, because again, I can't really do it on YouTube because it would be considered financial advice. Anyway, really, really bullish stuff going up here, guys. Again, I put up on my buys, my sells, my trades, my day trading that I'm doing at the moment. Again, my indicators. I've got crypto bot videos on how to set these up. This is what I'm doing, just documenting this, guys. And more importantly, my dividend stock investing. Again, I'm putting up everything that I'm dollar cost averaging into, which again is slowly growing, and it's taken me years to get to this point. So again, all of that juicy information is going up in the Wall Street Bull University, my Patreon page, and it is just me running it, no one else. And also what I really love is speaking with everybody in the direct messages as well. That's really important to me, to speak to people on a regular basis. So again, I'm having conversations with people. It's really awesome. So join up, link is below. And again, I'll show you my crypto bots in a moment. In actual fact, I'll show you that now. And now, again, OKEx is an official partner of the channel. And again, there are referral links below for this, so please feel free to use them. Yes, this is my actual portfolio. I have been liquidated out of a couple of day trades, which happens in crypto. I'm down 19% at the moment. I do have open positions, as you can see right here. Let me just bring this up. I've got long positions on Shiba Inu, obviously Optimism, Chainlink, Litecoin, Bitcoin, Ethereum right there. I did have a few more there, but they did get liquidated, but I'm not too worried about that. And of course, we have my bots right here, which full setup guides are in the Patreon. And if you have any questions, you can direct message me in there. Pepe, again, is up 11.93%, which is really nice as well. And XRP is still up 20%. Really nice, because I mean, when you think about it, these kind of returns you would not get in the stock market. Just putting that out there. Average is around 4 to 5% a year. Lucky if you get 8 to 13 in the S&P 500. this has been only a couple of weeks, so I'm not complaining about these gains. Really, really nice. And yes, most of my capital is tied up in the day trading. Now, moving on, guys, let's go to crypto bubbles. And yes, the biggest losers today, of course, are Hex, down 23%. And, of course, we have Pulse Chain down 40%. Look at that massive, just smashed right there. Terrible stuff down today as well. And, again, I think that's going to have a very hard time. And, yes, I do feel bad for those of you who actually bought it. I never bought it, wasn't into it. I identified something I wasn't comfortable with. And anyway, I stuck to my gut. Now, FTT as well, FTX again, they are potentially relaunching FTX. I mean, I'm freaking staying away from this. I'm not interested. You know, all of the history with this, have no interest in this whatsoever. None whatsoever, literally. Now, Curve DAO as well, down 19%. Now, there was a hack with CRV the other day. So anyway, I'm not invested in that. Obviously, Compound right here. I did have a couple of trades opened up on this, down 17%. Hence the reason why I got liquidated. But this is what we do. You need to take risks. But again, that's why I only invest what I can afford to lose, all right? Now, there are still incredible buying opportunities as such, like Litecoin, 3.3% down today, $89 US. The halving is happening this week, I believe, the 2nd of August. Only a couple of, like, tomorrow. Anyway, so I'm going to keep an eye on this as well. I'm still holding on to my Litecoin. I did put some money in that. We'll see where that goes. And again, I'm very bullish. And of course, all of our favorites like XLM right here, down 5.5%, which is nice. At 14 cents. And of course, XRP, which again, I can't even see it here. Let me just see if I can find it. There we go. Down 1.8% today to 69 cents. Very, very bullish on this. Now, there is a lot going on here, guys. Now, moving on to the news, JP Morgan and Wells Fargo to use Ripple and XRP. Partners FedNow service for instant payments in the United States. And JP Morgan and Wells Fargo are now partner members of the newly launched Fed Reserve's instant payment service. As CNF reported, the FedNow service is a new payment system which will allow participating banks, both big and small, to offer modern instant payment solution. Now, in Australia, we have something called OSCO. Anyway, it seems to work, but it doesn't balance your account until the following business day, which is really freaking annoying. So they need to fix that up. That pisses me off. Sorry, it does. But anyway, according to a recent announcement, JP Morgan, BNY Mellon, and Wells Fargo are now the latest major banks to start using FedNow. Went live yesterday. To this point, around 35 banks and credit unions have joined the system. Although still new, the Federal Reserve is still calling out more banks to sign up. It's significant that the largest banks in the US are early adopters. This is an illustration, I should say, of the importance, with many analysts pegging it to a game changer. JP Morgan not only has global presence, but now has over $2.6 trillion in assets. Wells Fargo, on the other hand, has around $1.8 trillion in assets under management, which is insane. Traditionally a slow process, the new system offers a banking system much quicker facilitation of process in the sector. Notably, BNY Mellon and 11 other banks have been listed as settlement agents and liquidity providers. Now, obviously, Ripple to facilitate FedNow. For months, there have been rumors that Ripple could be involved with FedNow. Late last month, the Federal Reserve and Bank of America was rumored to be working with Ripple, following some comments from Jerome Powell. Was there a subtle nod at Ripple at yesterday's press conference, or just a coincidence? Jerome Powell says he's been a Grateful Dead fan for 50 years. Anyway, Congressman Willie Nickel right here responds, I've found one universal truth. I like the people who are like the Grateful Dead. Anyway, moving on. That's just something I was just reading there. Unfortunately, after its launch, it has been evident that Ripple is not working with the Federal Reserve. However, it's clear that some of the banks utilizing FedNow are partners of Ripple. Specifically, they've been utilizing blockchain technology offered by Ripple. While this leaves possibility of a partnership, the adoption of Ripple's technology by the Federal Reserve, it remains an unlikely outcome. So again, we know that there are partners working with the FedNow, many payment providers. So again, we're going to have to see what happens in the next few months about this one. All right. Now, yes, I did this video yesterday. Wells Fargo staff predicts XRP to hit $100 to $500 in the next 2 to 7 months. Again, this is Shannon Throp. Again, I put this up in my community tab. You can go and have a read of it, and obviously on Twitter as well. It's on my Twitter page. Basically predicting that XRP is going to $100 to $500 in the next couple of months. Now, again, I don't think that's likely to happen. I think a lot would have to happen for that to occur in the next 2 to 7 months, but anything is possible. I may be thinking in the next 2 to 3 years, essentially, that these will hit that level. So again, I'm not selling my XRP until I see some real utility and adoption. Now, obviously, again, I went through this, but yes, the SEC has basically sued Hex founder Richard Hart, with misappropriating millions of dollars from investor funds and from unregistered crypto asset securities offerings that raised more than $1 billion. Crazy stuff. And yes, this is for immediate release on the SEC's website. So this is official. This is happening. Crazy. Now, Ripple ruling right here, and again, a judge rejecting something very interesting right here. But in a surprising twist in the ongoing Securities and Exchange Commission case against Ripple, the US District Judge Jed Rakoff right here has repudiated a significant aspect of Judge Torres' ruling. And the US District Judge Jed Rakoff right here, who was overseeing the SEC's Exchange Commission against Terraformer Labs, has rejected an approach used in the last month's ruling in the SEC's case against Ripple. The decision stands in contrast to the verdict of the US Judge Analisa Torres in the Ripple case, where a significant distinction was drawn based on how tokens were sold. According to the summary of the Ripple verdict, coins sold directly to institutional investors were considered securities, while those sold on the secondary market transactions to retail were not. And however, the differentiation right here has now been rejected in the Terraformer Labs case. This now puts Ripple ruling into question. And obviously, Judge Rakoff right here is choosing not to differentiate cryptocurrencies based on how they were sold. In other words, he's stating that the method of sale, whether directly to large institutional investors or via secondary market transactions to retail investors, shouldn't affect whether or not those coins are considered securities. Ripple is not a security. XRP, I should say, is not a security. Jeremy Hogan's come out about this. John E. Deaton, a lot of lawyers, and also Stuart Algorand. This does not affect anything in regards to XRP. So again, I'm very, very bullish still on this project. Have been for a long time. Anyway, we've got a lot of money flowing in here from institutions going into Cardano and Solana and XRP. Digital assets manager CoinShares says institutional investors are becoming more optimistic on altcoins despite Bitcoin and the overall market suffering outflows for the second week in a row. In the latest Digital Asset Fund Flows weekly report, CoinShares finds that halfway through 2023, digital assets have seen almost $500 million of inflows. Now, a lot of people are buying, and I should say a lot of institutions are buying these cryptocurrencies such as XRP, Solana, Cardano. Very, very nice right here. Products enjoyed inflows of $0.64 million, $0.6 million, and $0.5 million respectively. Very, very nice to see institutions coming into this space. Again, I said it the other day, I think the total market cap is going to absolutely skyrocket. Now, obviously, moving on, we have MicroStrategy announcing its balance sheet right here. Did he buy Bitcoin? How many Bitcoin does he have? MicroStrategy, obviously, which does not fall off the agenda with its Bitcoin purchases and support for Bitcoin, will announce its 2023 second quarter earnings report. Now, the company is expected to report revenue of $124 million, up 2% from Q1. Crazy money. The company, which meets the cloud software technologies needs of large companies, is expected to announce its second quarter earnings after the markets closed. Although MicroStrategy has been criticized by some, the company believes that Bitcoin is the only way to survive inflation. Look how many Bitcoins, which made its last Bitcoin purchase in June, has 152,333 Bitcoin worth $4.5 billion at an average cost of $29,668. That is insane. Wow, that is a lot of Bitcoin. A lot of money, guys. Now, anyway, of course, we have the SEC. I'm not going to go into too much, but the SEC obviously was pushing to delist all cryptocurrencies on Coinbase. Brian Armstrong stated that the US SEC pressured the company to delist all cryptos except Bitcoin. And again, the CEO exchange Coinbase disclosed on the 31st of July interview with the Financial Times that the US SEC obviously wanted the company to delist almost all cryptocurrencies, leaving only Bitcoin. And we said, well, how are you coming to that conclusion? Because that's not our interpretation of the law. And they said, we're not going to explain it to you. You need to delist every asset other than Bitcoin. Armstrong shared the SEC believes every asset other than Bitcoin is a security. This viewpoint is consistent with the statements made earlier by Gary Gensler, absolute idiot. Like the rest of the industry, however, Armstrong was confused over the regulator's position, reaccounting for the regulator decline to explain its reasoning. Of course it did. They're always just moving away from being questioned. Now, quickly, guys, obviously, we've got Tether Reports Bitcoin reserves up by $170 million, alongside drawdown its precious metals allocation. And Tether reported that its excess reserves increased by $850 million to $3.3 billion during the second quarter. It's going to be very interesting to see what happens with Tether. Again, it's too big to fail. I know a lot of people are talking about this. Now, again, just moving along quickly here, the latest tax guidance from the Internal Revenue Services outlines how and when staking rewards are taxed. And again, investors given rewards for validation activity of proof of stake networks should count the rewards as income in a year. The investors gets control of those tokens according to the ruling issued on Monday by the IRS. Fair market value of the validation rewards received is included in the taxpayer's gross income in the taxable year in which the taxpayer gains dominion right here and control over the validation rewards. So basically, if you're staking cryptos, it's going to be taxed, guys. That's unfortunate, but that happens. It's going to happen. Moving on, we've got money flowing into, we've obviously got BCH right here. We have some interesting ones, of course, XRP, that's bullish. Bitcoin, curved out, XLM, which is nice as well. Let's go to Twitter, guys. There is quite a bit happening on here. Yes, I'm at the Wall Street Bull Oz. I should say I'm on X. This thing has been playing up all freaking morning. It's been really annoying. I'm going to quickly get through this. The Reserve Bank, yes, holding interest rates again, very, very bullish. Elon Musk, 22-year plan to make X the most valuable financial institution in the world. Have a listen to this.
It would be possible to make the most valuable financial institution in the world. And we're going to execute that plan from 22 years ago, which amazingly no one has done. And so I think that's part of why I think Twitter will be ultimately extremely valuable, because I'm going to execute the X.com game plan from 22 years ago with some improvements. And then we're also going to obviously make Twitter just a way better. So there's a product.
There you go. Very, very bullish right there. Again, the SEC against Terraformer Labs is set to go ahead after the federal judge has denied a motion to dismiss. The same judge has also rejected a ruling made by the SEC Invest Ripple case. Anyway, this judge is going to be moving ahead. Bankrupt FTX confirms plan to relaunch the crypto exchange. Stay the hell away from that, guys. Galaxy Digital CEO says that the CEO of the world's largest asset manager got orange pilled. Larry was a non-believer. Now he says, hey, Bitcoin is going to be a global currency. People around the world all trust it. Anyway, he's a weird character. Richard Hart, have a listen.
From putting their money into Celsius, did you? I did everything I could to put people in charge of their own keys and get them to have self-custody. Did you do that? I called the top on the day. Did you? What have you done? So I break my balls to save people. I'm warning people about bad dApps, fake airdrops, showing people constantly every single hack that happens, right? I hand out free coins out the yin yang. I created free coins, give them to Bitcoin holders. Now I'm creating free coins, giving them to Ethereum and every single ERC20 holder. I'm the giving tree of crypto. I raised $27 million for charity. You know what the SEC did? The SEC got paid $50 million by BlockFi for suing them. And guess where the $50 million came from? It came right out of the money that would have been used to pay people now that they're bankrupt. What?
Anyway, I get that point because again, everything from BlockFi did turn to absolute shit. But anyway, what do you do, guys? I do feel bad for the people that lost money in Hex. But anyway, let me know in the comments below if you were a Hexagon investor. But anyway, Tether reported excess reserves of $3.3 billion as of June. Right now, X, a blaze of glory. Pretty cool. Yes, this made the news here in Australia. And again, moving on right here, we have data shows Bitcoin miners preparing for the upcoming halving as profitability dips and the hash rate competition heats up. Things are going to get pretty crazy in here now. Again, Stuart Alderodi came out today with an interesting video, and I'm going to play you a little bit of that, and we'll end up on that because things are just going to be taking so long. I do want to play this. Have a listen to it if I can find it from earlier today. Mr. Alderodi, Ripple's attorney right here.
Barrels filled with whiskey. Payphones. Who remembers those? And beavers? Well, it turns out a lot. None of those things, standing alone, are securities. But any one of them can be packaged into a contract for an investment that may be a security. Huh?
Pretty much like Gary Gensler, he does the same thing, but with Stuart Alderodi.
Let me break this down a bit. The law lists a bunch of things that are securities. That list includes things you ordinarily think of, like a share of stock. Why is a share of stock always a security? If you own a share of stock in, let's say, Apple owes you a fiduciary duty, and you can hold Apple accountable if they don't fulfill those obligations. That's true no matter how you bought the stock or who sold it to you. But the law also includes something called an investment contract in the list of things considered a security. An investment contract is not like a traditional share of stock. And anyone who tells you that, well, let's just say they're trying to confuse you.
Very, very bullish video. Go watch the full thing on my Twitter page, guys. Now, again, non-Bitcoin crypto assets are 55% of Coinbase's custody business and 2/3 of the transaction revenue and trading volume. But the same clownish SEC that approved the company's IPO basically said you need to stop doing the majority of your business or we'll sue you. The SEC has lost their freaking minds. The city of Lugano right here, Switzerland, famous for theatre right now, music and exhibition venue, basically now accepts Bitcoin as payment. I wouldn't use my Bitcoin for any kind of payment. Now, of course, we have the man of many talents, our Stuart Algorand, looking forward to the next installment after the hours with Stu. Again, I love how now that they're doing this again, pretty much throwing it in the face of Gary Gensler because that's what he does. Anyway, sorry guys, moving on. Let's go to CoinMarketCap. We have 1.1 trillion at the moment, $30 billion in volume, 48% BTC, 19% Ethereum. The market is down, as you can see. Yes, most of my trades are down at the moment. I'm still waiting to see what happens with those. They are open. We'll see what happens. Usually it bounces back. This is my portfolio. Top altcoins, of course, ETN, Acro, Pitbull, which is just a gamble. Do not buy that. XDC as well as Casper, which is really nice. And yes, my main focus, of course, is the banking coins. Now, again, all of these lists go up in the Patreon every single day when I'm having my coffee, so join up. These are the coins that I'm focused on because, again, this is where the institutions and governments are building out CBDCs, cross-border payments, you name it, it's all in these projects right here, as I've been documenting for 2.5 years on my channel. Yes, I'm so bullish on XRP. Again, it is not a security, and I'm going to dollar cost average even more. But anyway, that is it, guys. Join the Patreon. I'll be putting some stuff up in there later today. I did put up my dividend investments from last night, so go check that out. Have a good morning, a good afternoon, and a good day. If it's the morning, have an espresso, and I'll speak to everyone tomorrow. All right, guys, stay safe. Peace out. Bye.